Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. So 5 lakh lines of code was leaked at Anthropic accidentally because of a simple DevOps mistake. And the mistake has proven to be very expensive. The complete Claude Code CLI code is now at stake. Basically, someone created a repository called Claw Code on GitHub and they pushed the complete source code into this repository. And guess what? This repository became the fastest repository in the history of GitHub to hit 100K plus stars. So in no time, thousands of people downloaded the source code and now they have it on their local systems. This is not only a huge embarrassment for Anthropic, but it is also a huge loss for them. In today's video, let's try to understand how did this exactly happen, and also let's try to understand how simple DevOps practice could have completely eliminated this. Also, towards the end of the video, I'll answer a question that a lot of you asked. Is this a human mistake or AI mistake? Anthropic shared their answer in the public statement, but from my experience, I'll share what I feel about the incident. So just make sure you watch the video till the end. First of all, let's look at the series of events that took place. How did this leak actually happen? Just like any company, Anthropic also releases new version of their CLI package, the agentic CLI that we all use, called Claude Code CLI. And on 31st of March, they released a new version of it, which is 2.1.88. Usually, whenever a package is released, it is released using CI/CD pipelines, or it is released as part of some process where the packages usually have the artifacts in it. For example, if it's a Java application, the package usually has .jar, .var, etc. Now this is a JavaScript based application. So ideally it should also have artifacts, but along with the artifacts, it also had something called source map file. Now what is a source map file? In layman terminology, source map file is used for debugging. Developers usually use it. And the source map file has a lot of references of the source code. For example, it can have the complete file tree as well. So if anyone can get access to the source map file, there are a lot of tools available out there through which they can extract the source code of the application. But you might have a question. Why did someone even extract the package and try to see if there is a source map file in it? On day-to-day basis, we all use a lot of packages from internet. We just download the packages and we just install the packages. But why did someone extract the package and see? Let me tell you, there are people called security researchers, and their primary responsibility is to look at the newly released packages, especially from open source communities and high profile companies like Anthropic. And what they usually do, they try to see if there are any critical vulnerabilities, or any way if this new version can be attacked. I mean, any security attack can be performed so that the application or the end users can be attacked. And as a usual practice, a person called Shaw, working at Soul Air Labs, who is a research scientist, looked at the package 2.1.88, extracted it, and found 58 MB of source map file, which is very huge. And the moment a security researcher finds 58 MB of source map file, I'm sure they would understand something is very wrong about this package. Now, Show extracted it and also did some social media posts. So basically, Show is the first one to report there is a source map file in the new version of Anthropic. Usually, security researchers don't do it. They disclose it directly to the parent companies or open source communities because they get bug bounty. Basically, they get some money from the parent company for identifying the security related issues. Now, it can be that Anthropic did not care about it, or maybe they did not report it, but eventually the source map file is out. And from the source map file, the complete source code is out. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of people here are thinking the source map file expose the source code only in one way. But what actually happened? The source map file name is cli.js.map, and it has two different ways in which the source code can be exposed. First one is little difficult. Second one was even more easy. So the first one, yeah, people can use some tools from where they can extract the source code from the file tree. But the other way, the source map file also had the file path. So it had the location of a zip file, which is in Cloudflare R2 instance. And this zip file had the source code packaged. So anybody can, run the curl command. They can get the source code file, the zip file in the Cloudflare R2 instance. And from where they could easily run the unzip command. And that's all they have to do. They just have to download the zip file and they just have to run unzip. They have the source code on their local machine. Now, Anthropic tried to send notices, people who pushed that to GitHub or people who posted it on social media, they are asked to pull those posts down, but it's too late. Nowadays, if something goes onto the internet, it's already spread across the internet. So people who downloaded it, some people also pushed it to GitHub. And one such repository, Claw, got more than 100K stars. And a lot of people also forked it. So even now, this repository is locked, but still there are a lot of private folks of this repository and people who downloaded it also have it. Now, what is the summary of this entire thing? One, this is an irreversible thing. Now, Anthropic can do nothing about it. They can only release a statement or they can explain what has happened, why this has happened. Otherwise, the situation is out of control. What does this mean? Now, you will see very, very soon a lot of copies of Cloud Code CLI. People or startups across the world, they might take the Cloud Code source as reference and they can create new agentic CLIs. Okay, one good thing is that none of the Cloud Code proprietary models were exposed. So if you're thinking something about Opus or something about Sonnet, no, they were not exposed. Only the agentic CLI was exposed. But that is enough. Today, companies can build their own agentic CLIs and sell them as solutions. Or maybe they can put it open source and build a reputation on it. Now coming to the point, how this can be avoided, right? There are a lot of companies who are using JavaScript applications. Why is their source map file not exposed on the internet? Why Anthropic source map file was exposed? Basically, what developers do or what regular engineers do, they create something called npm ignore file. And within the npm ignore file, they use this source map file. Just like how we create .git file, .git ignore, and within the .git ignore, we ignore some kind of files on our local machine, like maybe the PEM files, the .env files. We don't want to push it to Git. Same way, if something should be avoided during the npm build, that can be added to the npm ignore, a file, and the name of the file that to be ignored. Now, this was missed at the first step, but even after that, DevOps engineers implement CI/CD, and as part of the CI/CD, they build the package, and during the building of the package, they run the npm command. Even at this stage, certain files are avoided, right? When DevOps engineers run npm build, they don't take all the files and they try to build, or they don't create artifact with all the files. One, the artifact becomes heavy. Two, it is also not required. Even this check was missed. Now, this is something we can believe. Maybe developers ignored .git .npm ignore, and maybe it was pushed to their GitHub repository. But this is something very, very difficult to believe, because CI/CD systems today have become very advanced. A lot of people, even startups, build DevSecOps pipelines, and as part of the DevSecOps pipelines, they catch these kind of things. Imagine SBOM. Right? Today, if you look at the build tools, once the build is done, they provide SBOM for supply chain, for looking at any supply chain security attacks. Even the SBOM would have easily provided information of this source map file. This was also not provided. The security scanning tools, they can also catch the source map files. AI in the DevSecOps pipeline, it can also catch the source map file within the package, but none of them did it. So this proves either this was not a human mistake, or within the CI/CD pipeline they were using AI, and AI was building the entire CI/CD. It was taking care of all the steps in the CI/CD where certain steps were overlooked, which is quite possible because otherwise there are pull requests, there are developers creating .npm ignore, the CI/CD checks, promotion from UAT to staging environment to production environment. Personally, I feel it is not possible at various levels. This check was missed. So I feel this must have happened because of the AI, but not because of the humans that Anthropic is claiming. This is my personal opinion. Uh, Everyone has their opinion. Anthropic also publicly stated what has happened from their point of view. What do you personally think? You can also let me know in the comment section. But this is something is considered as a DevOps failure. Even a single DevOps engineer could have eliminated this at the UAT environment or staging environment or production environment. I hope you found this video informative. If you're working as a DevOps engineer, make sure these incidents do not happen at your organization, because this is not only embarrassment, but this is also a huge loss for your organization. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. See you all in the next one. Take care.